Ndawo gogo, ndawo bantu abadala, ndawo kuninonke izihlule ezihle, ndithi thokozani xamago. Thobela thobela. Niphilile na? Welcome to my channel. If it's your first time joining me, please feel free. You are welcome. Take off your shoes, take off your jersey, take off your jacket, take off itshali, and just sit and relax. Know that this is home. And yes, of course, the routine. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Also, hit the notification button so that if there are any new videos, you'd be the first one to know. And when you share, you are ensuring that someone benefits from what you have been indulging in. So as they say, sharing is caring. Thokozani bantu abadala, I greet you all. Ndiphakamisa impuma, ndiphakamisa intshona, ndiphakamisa ukhohlo, ndiphakamisa ukunene. I greet all the creations of the universe. I lift up the north and the south, the east and the west. I combine the forces to work for us as we continue on this journey. So some of you might have seen my video that is on my platforms, but I will also attach it to this so that you get a context of where the video that I'm making now is coming from. So recently I had an honor of being invited by he's actually my nephew and my brother, to go and attend his umqabazo ceremony, which is ndicel'iyeza. And I went. Now, the request was for dadobawo, which is an aunt. Now, if we're talking aunt, in the African culture, you have umama, which is your mother, you have umakhulu, you have umagazi, you have umomkhulu. So mama is the mother, umakhulu is the grandmother, and there's umagazi, which is your mother's sister. There's umomkhulu, which would be your mother's elder sister. Umagazi would be the younger sister, and the elder sister would then be umomkhulu. And if you notice in all of these, there's more. So it means that as a female, you have a role to play in all these different segments, but they all encapsulate one thing: nurturing. And you being the womb man. You are the one with a womb that nurtures. So traditionally, and even in the songs of initiation, especially in IsiXhosa, there is a plea to dadobawo, who is named the owner of ingulo, the owner of the gift bearer. And amongst the songs, there would be one that sings about dadobawo, help me with this headache, which is an affliction of those who are spiritually inclined. They constantly experience a lot of headaches. Also, in the process of spirit settling in one, you experience a lot of headaches and heavy shoulders and a lot of ailments in your body. So there is that one song, and there is another one about dadobawo, where one is asking for the herb that completes your journey of becoming igqirha or isangoma, the healer. And there are some processes that go with dadobawo. I suppose I will talk about those in another video, but one of them, kukuyofukanyela dadobawo, which is going to camp near the river and being, incubating. Yeah, that's the right word, incubating and appeasing dadobawo, which is the aunt in English, to give you, to heal you, and to give you the herb that you need, to give you the dreams that will guide you on your journey, to give you the eyes that can see beyond, to open a third eye, to ask her to open isifuba sakho in the case of amanguni, which is your chest, so that you can be able to divine. to ask her to open your head, ikhanda lakho, so that you can be able to divine. So dadobawo plays a big role. And for me, I kind of had an idea, but not until recently when I fully experienced as a healer the role of being udadobawo. Because what happened was that I was invited by my nephew and to go, because his healer had requested that there must be the paternal side aunts or aunts to be at the ceremony. And one had then to go. And it so happened that this dadobawo, this particular one, that is me, I am also a healer, but I am initiated differently to how my nephew was initiating, because I am initiated in isiNguni and he's initiating in IsiXhosa. So I am a sangoma while he is igqirha. But now what was needed was for udadobawo, the aunt, to come and play a role. And the role of dadobawo also, dadobawo is also a representation of the father. So a lot of lineage duties are also, handed down to dadobawo to handle them. So we went to this ceremony, and I remember when he came to tell me about it, there was another older dadobawo that we needed to go and I needed to connect to, because I am dadobawo true family, but the one who is born with his father, we needed to go and get her as well to come. So being a dondolo, he came to me and he said, I need you to pave the way for me to get to the other dadobawo, because I lost my phone and surely you would know a way to get to them. And I called my other dadobawo, and this other dadobawo, then we got the other dadobawo. And it was quite something profound, because my mom, my nephew, in his grandmother is actually also has the same clan name as my mom. So when he came, was like, you are all here. You will represent the father's side and the grandmother's side on the father's side as well. Gogo, you have to go and attend as well. That was my mom. So between me and my mom, we had to now divide ourselves, because there's also the kids that need to be looked after when they come back from school. But then we managed that. So we went to Abu Dadobawo and we went for the ceremony. The ceremony was over 3 to 4 days, and at different times we needed to go. But now, what was funny was when we went the first day, which was the day that umcimbi would be starting, umsebenzi, the ceremonies would be starting, because there's different stages within, and he was doing a triple bender. He was doing three things in one go, and that's how his spirit guides wanted it, which was something quite interesting. And I have immense respect for idlodi has this thing, if uvunule, if you put on anything that you'd normally put on if uzogita, it kind of gets excited. So I had to appease for wearing this. I had to appease this one. I can wear it. It doesn't have too many issues. But this one, when I put it on, there's something that happens. So I can feel it, Roti. It's evoking a bit. Okay, let me breathe through that and drink some water. So I applaud itongo of this gogo, Umamshengo. I applaud it because it's very progressive. you will understand why I say it's progressive. Because most of the time, intersection between IsiXhosa and isiNguni, which would be abangoma namagqirha, sometimes because we do things differently, it's not an easy path to or an easy terrain to navigate. But for this gogo Umamshengu, who I have so much respect for, she just really listened to Itongo, lo mntana wakhe, the initiate umhlekazi, and Itongo lakhe, because the two have to be in congruence with any decision. They must be aligned and walking the same path. So there were some dynamics that we needed to navigate, because with families, sometimes there are some things that were supposed to be done that were not completely done. So those, they kind of find their way into the mix. And also the beauty of the gift, the spiritual gift, is that we are there as well to fix some of these things, to align things. Our elders, some things they left as they were, but when you are initiated, you have a bigger role as a cultural guardian, not just as a healer, but also as a cultural guardian. You become the negotiator, you become the initiator, you become the healer, you become the mediator, which would then be negotiations going with mediation. You become the facilitator. You become so many elements in one. And you have to constantly consult spirit to ensure that you stay in line, and you are guided. You don't do things out of your own knowledge. So we went, and I remember one of the funny things was that when we got there, we were given tea with milk. And so I said to, the people I was with, which is my uncle was there, my mom, my two aunts. I was sitting next to the door and in the reception room where they were welcoming us. And I saw the milk. I said, "Don't drink the milk." And they looked at me. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "No, don't drink the milk. You have a debt of milk in this home, so don't drink it. It's a trap." They will give you the milk, and then they will say, "Yeah, for that sip of milk that you've drank now, we want a whole cow. So you must," this dynamics. And all of them, because they are older than me, they were looking at me. They're like, "How did you know that?" I'm like, "No, it was whispered to me. I was guided to inform." And it made sense. It made sense. And they were like, "You're so young, yet you're so wise." I was like, "No, it's not me. I'm just relaying messages as they come to me." Fast forward, the ceremonies happened. I will do another video to talk about some of the fundamental elements. But now what I wanted to talk about is the role of dadobawo in the words that you have to speak. So we had to fast for the ceremony. No one needed to tell us that. We know. Because if you're going to be part of the ceremony, you have to fast. There are things that you must not do. You must make sure that you sanctify yourself in a way. So that includes cleansing. That includes holding space. Even minding what you say. Even how you dress. How you handle yourself around the space. So there was a lot, because we're going to a space that is not our space, but we are invited. And the invitation is not just for attending the ceremony, but is also for facilitating the ceremony together with the initiate's mentor. That is why I'm blown away by his mentor, because I learned so much, and they also said they learned so much from me. We learned so much from each other. So I found that in a way, because the delegation was mainly women, you know, at one time there were my two uncles, at another time it was the one uncle, you know. So there's something about the energy of women, you know, and how they, when they walk into a certain space, there's a certain vibration that they take into that space, and I could feel it. With the women I was with, like I was with warriors. If I was with warriors, believe you me. And I was in awe because I was the youngest in the group, yet in terms of spiritual inclination, I'm the one who walks with Abokoko and Abomkulu. So they constantly said, what must we do now? They were constantly consulting me. And we were welcomed, and we also had things that we took with, you know, because you can't walk into someone's space empty-handed. What were you eating along the way? Because as well, if you don't have iambitlana, it means that you are someone who's stingy. What were you feeding? Because as we were walking the journey, you were walking with elders, you were walking with the ancestors. Before we left, we had to partner and ask, you know, for the journey to be safe. We asked for enlightenment, for advices, for wisdom to handle situations that we're going to meet along the way. Remember, when an initiate is initiating and their final ceremonies are happening, a lot is happening, Bokoko. A lot surrounds the success of the event, the success of the ritual, the success of the processes, the success in terms of health of the initiate, because an initiate can get sick. They can be eating and start choking. They can be having tummy issues. You know, there is a lot that happens. So we had to ensure that we hold space on so many different levels. Like we pray, or the one who prays Pasha. We did so many things to ensure that when we get there, we come there with the energy that is needed. That family needed to feel ukuthi dadobawo ungene. They needed, because when you are walking in, you're not just walking in as a human being, but you are walking in along with the entourage of ancestors who are coming to co-handle the ceremony, who are coming to co-handle the healing, who are coming to co-handle the processes. So you don't walk in as a human being, but you actually walk in as a herb, u'liyeza. So from the beginning of the invitation, we needed now to understand that siliyeza. Everything and anything that we do, it has to be for healing. Even if we were to go there and meet someone who might say something that might, you know, tend to derail us, you had to resist, because uluyeza akuthethwa eyezeni. And that is why, even if within your entourage of people that you went with, you know, some people that get excitable, some people they will drink too much and they will start raising their voices and being excitable and all of that. You take that person out of the entourage, because each and every one of you have to be aligned. You have to ensure that you are aligned. Now, I have the kind of a mother who is, my mom grew up in a convent, and she grew up as well with parents who were very respectful and a bit reserved, but her father was actually upoko. So, you know, if I say upoko, you know, he was like a warrior, to the point that even now there are some things that we're still fixing, that his mentality of upoko affected future generations, you know, because he was always like, he's related to Lena. And some things, for instance, people would come and say, sign for this. Like, no, I'm not signing. Why must I be signing? This is umhlaba wethu. But those things along the way, they end up affecting So we're fixing some of those things. So already, you know, you are working with amabuto, you know, you are working with amabuto nduna, amabuto amakhosi. You are working with this kind of people. So my mom is very respectful, and I remember how she was dressed when we were going there, you know, with her duke and her dress, and she had an apron on top, and she had iskafu, and then she had ijali, you know, and no, actually she had the sana marena, that's her sutu blanket, because the invitation particularly to her was like, come and represent the Basutu and Abasiya. So she had the sana marena. And I remember one of my aunts, who is also married, asking her, are we supposed to be, you know, are we supposed to have something on our waist as if we are going to, you know, where we are married to? And my mom was like, I always dress up like this when there is any ceremony I'm attending, because I understand that even within the entourage, for instance, in my family, my mom, Ngumendi, she's married into my family. And when she's walking with me into those spaces, sihamba namakhehle namakhehlekazi. So it's not just to her a matter of, I'm just walking with my daughter, who walks with these ancient beings, who walks with these ancestors. But I understand that I am working with the ancestors, her ancestors as well, who are even some of them are like ancestors from 10 generations, 20 generations, 30 generations away. So she's constantly cognizant of that. And it was interesting, because now even my aunt was like, unyanisile sisi, namanbing, you know, because as well, when the invitation came, she had to bigger to her husband that I have to go and play my dadobawo duties. So obviously she was bigward to her own family, you know, where she's married to. So even when she goes out, she's part of that husband's family. So she even represents the husband when she goes anywhere, you know. So she was like, actually, yeah, lamakhehle as well, because when uphahla, you ask for the aura of the ancestors to accompany you so that people can feel that. So all these people, and I was observing all of this, and I was amazed. It was all effortless. It was all, you know, it was so beautiful. Okay, I tend to get teary sometimes, so I can feel the tears coming. And so the feminine energy held the space. Literally, if I can say, we could feel udadobawo, the energy kadodobawo, it was there with us. And I am so grateful to feel it, because now it feels like you are wearing this jacket, like I'm wearing this skin. It's like you are wearing this jacket and you become this jacket, because the energy is contagious. And even the one next to you can feel. You're constantly checking on each other if you are truly representing. And for me, it was amazing, because this is one of the things that I learned when I went epitome the first time. Oh, the tears are gonna come. Don't mind them, Bokoko, don't mind them. Because while I'm conversing, sometimes a certain, you know, spirit would be the one who takes over, and they come with whatever, their sincerity, their emotions, their joy. So this is me. So I also have this Tunya. Tunya is very teary, Vokoko, so don't mind me. And then where was I? Now I've lost my train of thought. Oh, what I learned. Now, I am born of a father who's very strict, who is very patriarchal in his approach. And when I went to epitome the first time, initially, I learned so much about how his guides taught him about the role of the female in spirituality, to the point that I used to marvel at how he respects his wife. I'm saying his wife because it's his second wife, not my mother. They divorced with my mother. And some of the lessons and some of how he handles the understanding of the importance of embracing the female energy and elevating it to hold space for processes. Whoa, it blew me away. And learning that in actual fact, it was his guides, abantu abadala, who taught him how important it is to hold the space. So much that here at home, we have the kraal. And my mom made sure that we also built IsiXhosa, the space where we cook. And I'm always amazed to observe the energy between the two spaces, the interaction between the two spaces. Because ubuhlanti, which is the kraal, is not always used. It's only used when there are ceremonies. But IsiXhosa is constantly used because here we light fire all the time. We always light the fire. We keep the fires burning, literally. My mom, when she's kidding with me, she calls herself my first twasa. Like sometimes I will wake up and there's already a fire, because my mom is an early riser. Sometimes there'll be a fire, and even when she makes the fire, when I do a video about fire, I will put a picture of how she dresses. Like it's a whole thing for her, because it's harnessing and understanding the universal energy of each space. And for me, because I walk a lot namakhehla, especially umnguni wam ngamakhehla, So nabogogo bakhona, but it's mainly, the forerunners amakhehla. So observing the space, it's amazing how the energies, I always find the male energy is very, very potent and very, present and heavy. And the female space, through my mom, it balances so much. And if you also think about fire, fire is, it's a cleanser. It's the cleanser, the ash that you get through fire. It's got amazing properties. It's used for so many things. And the flames, when it comes to rituals, they have, anyway, I will do the video. But I then observed how the dadobawo role became so fundamental for that process. But Bogogo, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to stop this one here and I'll do another video so that at least it does not go over 30. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people who's able to do short videos. I do long videos. See you on the next one. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit the notification button. And Bogogo, more than anything, remember, this is your journey and your journey alone. If you need to crawl at times, it's okay. If you need to take a breather, take a breather. Just remember to be gentle and kind to yourself. Only you know what you're going through, and this journey is not an easy journey, Bogogo. I think that is why I'm so connected to teaching to make the journey easier for other people, because I find that there are some things that one could do that would make their journey much more easier than how I found it. So, Bogogo, now.